your personal brand and your business brand are very enmeshed
They
at
are.
time. At time, yeah. So talk about a personal brand versus the Janine Sound experience. We've already decided that personal brands will set under the umbrella or under the big tent of your overall brand for the Janine Sound experience.
Yes.
This is super important for entrepreneurs because here's what happens in my experience. There inevitably comes a point when you have a founder led brand where the founder is really having a hard time extracting themselves from the business brand, where they don't feel like they can either grow and scale as a standalone brand, as something that isn't relying on kind of like them to be actively the face of the business.
Yeah.
Like, how do they kind of tease that
Wow.
apart?
Hmm.
And if you don't do the work we're doing right now, that kind of becomes painful because, frankly, your personal brand and your business brand are very enmeshed
They
at
are.
time. At time, yeah. So I'll tell you who's a master at this right now is Zach, who's really doing a very good job compartmentalizing the brand of Dozer Dog Designs and his own personal brand as like a thought leader, a content creator, and I call him a serial entrepreneur already.
Oh, I love it.
So we're doing that by we position the business brand and we're positioning the personal brand very deliberately in the beginning. And I also want to bring up your positioning 2.0,
Hmm.
the one that you really polished with Jill, because between then and now, you may have had some insights, or I believe I recall maybe a voice memo like maybe it is really all about public health, and we want to make sure that that's in there. So
Oh
I
my
want to validate
God.
that before, because like we're at writing time. I want to validate that. I want to just do a discovery around services. We'll just,
Yeah.
you know how we do. We'll
Yeah.
just talk it out. I'll take notes, etc.
That's great. Yeah. Yeah. So interesting that you talk about that because our last session that, well, I'll just say our last session, um, that talked a lot about public health. That was a eureka freaking moment for me.
That
It
was with Jill.
That was
Yeah,
with Jill. Yeah.
in episode 7,
Yeah, that's right.
Jilliant and
I
Resilient.
know.
For folks at home who want to, explore more of the business in the raw
Please do.
universe,
That's right.
you can hear that conversation.
I know.
Episode 7,
Episode
Jilliant
7.
and Resilient.
Yeah.
So let's bring up that positioning statement,
All right.
and just because it'll influence services if how we do it. So let's bring that up first. I'm going
Okay.
to do a screen. I'm going to do a screen share, and we'll just validate it and see if anything needs to change.
Okay.
I don't think this is gonna be like now a whole thing and we're kind of ripping it up and starting again. It may be a matter of just a tweak here or there. And
Got
then
it.
we can, once we've said yes, that's absolutely the thing, let's talk about what we're gonna sell.
Okay.
All right.
That sounds fabulous. Yeah.
That sounds
I-
fabulous.
yeah, and I have done some thinking around that, particularly after just hearing it and hearing my words and the excitement and the believability, and confidence in being able to do the thing. And I do have some question though in some areas. So I love where we are right now.
We are still branding the Janine Sound Experience as the overall agency and brand, but right now the agency is a party of one, and that's you.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Awesome. So we have a positioning statement for you because you are talent number one. You're ground zero of this beautiful brand.
Yeah.
I can easily see you adding people in as you want to open the faucet or turn off the faucet.
Right.
And I can easily see us kind of crafting positioning for like each individual talent and being able to, really have some kind of like awesome product. If the voice is the product, like without
Yeah.
dehumanizing someone, I don't mean to be,
I know. I'm following you.
we are value
Wait,
is only what we can sell. Like, that's not what I'm trying to do. But if the voice is the product, with that each kind of thing is positioned well. So maybe you've got, a man,
A-
or or an older woman or a younger woman, or
Absolutely. And who are addressing topics that perhaps are not in my area of I say of expertise, if you will, particularly if I'm making a case and proposing, if I'm in the proposal mode, with a client.
exactly.
Yeah. So, hmm.
Exactly. You know, it's it remind your work in this work in the direction that you're leaning in reminds me of like copywriting, honestly,
Mm,
because there are, and this isn't, I'm not punching down at anybody's style,
yeah, no.
but there are copywriters who like have you fill out a questionnaire and then they write the copy from that. And then there
Ah,
are copywriters who are like do take, I don't want to say take the time because it seems so like, well, we take the time, I'm not.
yeah, yeah,
Great. If you're able to convert copy with that a questionnaire, more power to you.
yeah.
I personally cannot. I have to have a discovery session to really learn the material.
Mm-hmm.
But because I learn the material, I can articulate it in a way with like such nuanced understanding that I don't believe a questionnaire could ever get me. Have I
Ah,
ever tried to make a questionnaire that would work like that? Frankly, no. But
ah.
to our point here about like who are the, if the voice is the product, what is each kind of different product and how does it set within knowing the context of what they're actually saying
Got it.
as
Yep.
being the value differentiator. So okay, all that set up, I'm going to read these to you out loud again, and then we're just going to like, are we still thumbs up all the way? Are we missing something, or are things like close enough, close but no cigar?
Okay. That sounds great. Yeah.
All right.
Yay.
This is for you personally. For audiences everywhere who need to hear voices with heart and soul in order to make a connection, Janine Payne is the voiceover artist, songstress, and audio actor that delivers the sound experience and energy in vocalizations, storytelling, and song for digital media and creative/slash commercial endeavors, because branding is a feeling.
That is true. I don't think there's anything in that doesn't speak to who I am and what I can offer,
I agree, with the exception of perhaps we're not saying what your expertise is in if we're branding this towards what's your expertise,
which is the public health space, right?
which is the public health space. So we
That's interesting.
may we may want to consider that. Now
Okay.
let's
Yeah.
hear the Janine sound experience, because this is where we really gotta get this one right.
I know exactly.
I agree that this one, Janine Payne, on its own is absolutely accurate. There's
Uh-huh.
nothing wrong with it.
Right.
But
And,
where
and
where's your expertise? It's not showing.
right, right. And the Janine sound because the one you just read was the Janine was is Janine, right?
Yep.
That's
Mm-hmm.
that's Janine. And
Yep.
yeah, okay. Yep.
Okay. All right. Now the Janine sound experience for companies, causes, and communities that dare not be ignored. The Janine Sound Experience is the voiceover and branded audio design studio that delivers deliberate disruption and compelling controversy, articulated and amplified in high fidelity, and a royal roster of talented and spirited Black and Brown voiceover artists ready to bring mighty messaging to life and hit your people right where they live, because every truth needs to be a trusted voice to be heard, and you know it when you hear it.
Damn.
And I want to read the last part again. Because every truth needs a trusted part to be heard, and you know it when you hear it.
I like it. Uh-huh.
I still feel like
A trusted. Okay, you saying a trusted part to be heard? What did we
a
say?
trusted voice to be heard.
Okay. But look, you're doing
How
all the behind the scenes things, and this is tough work, girl.
I think we are agreeing that the Janine sound experience still is right. But that Janine Payne could use the public health sector piece in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that delivers. Yeah, it definitely needs it because it still is a part of it. It adds to who I am and what I do. Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
unless you feel like it needs to be, I don't think it does, because in the Janine Sound experience, we're saying for companies, causes, and communities that dare not be ignored.
Right.
That to me encapsulates the do no harm piece, and it
Yeah.
leaves you open to, you know, again, maybe you've got like a financial the financial literacy person who like that's the space they came from, or even since we're leaning into that,
Yeah. Yeah.
it just buys you options and doesn't get you like really pigeonholed into
Y
anything.
you're absolutely right. That's interesting because, I have to be honest with you that that's one of the fears that I have, and, that the language is not, and I'm happy with this language, but that I don't pigeonhole myself and miss opportunities. So anyway.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
would frame and we'll try it.
Okay.
Unless you're like, Rebecca, we've got to I want this to only be for public health and that's it.
And no, and that's not true, but
Okay.
I think what was beneficial in that session with Jill is that public health is a place where I can shine,
Yeah.
and maybe the offering is different. Maybe the services are different in the public health, sorry, where are are different in the public health space. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be that the offer is, for let's say like, women's health,
Right.
whatever. And
Right.
the offer is like, we're passionate about agencies, nonprofits, and NGOs that are look, I don't even
Are
know.
geared to toward the wellness, the I'll just say health and wellness of 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 women, but women in charge. I don't know. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
then you're like targeting agencies specifically to say, I've created an offer just for you.
Yeah, right.
The
Exactly.
agency itself, the Janine Sound experience itself, is really around people who are doing impact work in some sort of sector that's like moving the needle on human, you know, experience and
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
connection and all the things.
Yes.
But but I really shine here in this one particular area for these reasons, and I've created this offer just for you. And then you can mine your whole, email list and be like, I
Yeah.
thought of you when I put together this offer. So that's the way
Yeah.
to do it.
Listen to you go. Yes, I'm following you. And I actually do, I I'm realizing that the public health space and women is a place that I really think that initially I would want to target in moving forward. So,
I think that what that means for me is standing on the Janine Sound experience positioning statement, but taking some time to really develop out your personal statement here.
okay. Okay. So,
I don't think it's going to impact how we're doing this work we're about to do right now,
right.
but I'm going to highlight it. But my homework is to get in there and Rebecca-fy it a little bit.
Okay. I love
Is
that.
that fair?
Oh, it's absolutely fair. And again, this is more clarity. Um, so I
Yeah,
like that. Yeah. Yeah.
100%. So I've got a note in there that by the time we meet next time, we'll really look again at that positioning statement for yourself,
Yeah.
and I'll have done some work on it and see if I can get it there
Okay.
much closer. Because to me, that I mean, it's accurate, but it doesn't excite me.
I was gonna say, does it feel empty to you?
Hmm. That one was the one from when we did the three originals, and that's like
Yes,
was the vanilla one.
that's
I
right.
generally put one in there that is extremely straightforward, and
Okay.
some people prefer that.
That's
And it
interesting.
also it gives you something to like compare to.
You
Like,
mean you
oh well, when you do three of them,
uh-huh, right.
and one of them is like wow, and the other one's like whoa.
Whoa,
You
exactly.
need
Yeah.
you need the vanilla one to like
To
compare it to. It's like a baseline almost.
I get it. I totally get it. And I feel that yeah. So yeah, if you Rebecca-fy it, because I know that based on this conversation and what it's missing. Because, yeah, I can easily say, and I did say, yeah, that's definitely me. But now adding some of that public health speak, is important. And, Rebecca, yeah. So I don't wanna, yeah, I feel like I'm gonna miss why am I saying that so often?
You're gonna miss opportunities because you're appealing to somebody too specific.
Yeah, but is that not a but is that a bad thing? Because I'm starting out and I don't know. I
Uh, it's if you had asked me 6 months ago, I'm gonna even do my own soliloquy. If you had asked me 6 months ago if niching down was the thing you had to do and getting very specific about the kind of people you serve, I would have said, no, man. If you have a strong brand and your offers are clear and you really understand your value,
yeah.
you don't have to niche down. In fact, this is me 6 months ago. In fact, I would be so bored if I niche down because I don't want to just work in one industry. I don't want to just be focused. My vertical is entrepreneurship. Blah
Wow.
blah 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 blah.
Got it.
Yep,
Yep.
that's what I would have said. Since repositioning myself with Jill, and now I'm in, but where before I was like, I'm for energetic, go getting entrepreneurs who want to get something done. Again, that kind of bitches get shit done.
Yeah.
And through the power of positioning with a facilitator, even mommy, even
Yeah.
mommy, through the power of positioning with a facilitator, what I've discovered is that I'm for disruptors and people who detest business as usual and want to eliminate the status quo and want to be unconventional and want to swim upstream.
Ah,
And now that
yeah.
I'm talking in those terms, I can
Yeah.
see the business models.
Wow.
Previously, I'm a copywriter with a unique voice that may or may not appeal to you.
That's interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
And for you, I'm a voiceover agency with a unique voice that may or may not appeal to you.
That's right. Thank you.
Second,
Mm.
if you are a disruptor, an unconventional person, a pusher back, you are brave and strong and you are leaning into your beliefs, even though everyone tells you no.
Yeah.
I am the one of the only people in the world who can write for you because
Wow.
I can bring that energy to the pad and paper where no one else
Yeah.
really has understood what you're doing.
Yeah. That's absolutely true.
Which one do you
Absolutely true.
think is going to get me better business?
That's right. The one that's more distinct to who you are and what you know you can deliver and that they want, that they're looking for. Because
And that they want
yeah,
because for
yeah,
them they're like no one can write no like if you're a disruptor then you're really not thinking, oh, I'm sure I can go find a copywriter who can capture that magic. You're not
yeah.
thinking that. You're not buying into programs. You're not looking
Oh.
out there for products and services. You're almost thinking you've got to continue to join my dog Zach. My dog.
Is that his tail?
It's his like
Oh,
his ear,
oh,
like
I love it. Oh, I love it all. So really, that's life.
anyway, so like then I'm like, oh my god, that is really because there's so few people who can articulate what a disruptor does,
That's
and there are
right.
so many people who can write with an interesting voice.
That's right. Exactly. That's so.
It's
It's
been so powerful, girl.
oh my god. Because it's niche, but yet not. It's like no, it's knowing who I am, who you are. This is who I am, and I know that you need me if you fit in some way. This description is it. I am who you've been looking for. You know. Um.
Instead of like take a chance on me or
Yes. Yes.
anything like that. And also, let
It's-
me tell you how fucking freeing it is to now only talk to and about disruptors
oh
because
my
I
god.
love disruption.
Okay, I know you do. You.
I love disruption. Oh, you don't want to do it? Hold on. There
You're
you
so
go.
funny.
Sluggo. Sluggo. Quit. Quit, dude. Quit. Take your neuroses somewhere else. Shove them deep down inside you. Okay. All right. Anyway, man, now I get
I
to
love
only
this.
talk to and from disruptors and be like, how are you a problem troublemaker?
Yes.
What's your most unpopular opinion?
Yes.
How are
Oh,
you,
I
how
love
do
that.
you, How do you
Oh,
want to take the formula that we've been handed by systems that do not have our best interest at heart and
yes.
completely rip them up into your own thing?
Oh
I'm for
my
you.
God. I love it. And you are. That's who you are. And that's why, like, when we communicate and sometimes you come up with these phrases, I'm like, oh my gosh, she gets it. That's because you truly are a disruptor, and you want to speak to others who can grab onto that language and do something with it's like, yeah, man, that's what I've been talking about. Why are we doing the same thing the same way? Because it's always been accepted. Why? Because who's accepting it? What?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'd like to give you a voice
It's
of so that disruption is normalized.
yeah. Oh, disruption.
Mm.
You know what that sounds like in a way? The revolution. Okay, well, hold on. Disruption. Be
The revolution will be televised.
uh-huh, will be normalized. It has the same ring to
Oh
it.
my god, the revolution will be normalized.
Okay. Oh,
Holy
say
shit.
it, girl.
You came up with that.
Oh no, but also that because you came up with um we had a conversation about the revolution, no, re-evolution or something. Remember we
Uh,
meshed those words?
yours was the new power regeneration.
That's yes,
That's
right.
yours. Mine is although we used to say, you and I used to say in the very beginning of the show, the revolution will be televised.
That's right. The revolution will be, and it is the revolution because it's happening now. It's happening now, and I don't want to work with. I mean, I, I want to work with people who know who they are and what kind of message they want to deliver because I can deliver that message, right? And it's that same taking that same formula and and then being able to promote myself, as the product that you're looking for to deliver your message. That's the voice, and it's not just the voice, it's the spirit. Like, even if edits have to be done, if whatever, that I'm going to carry on that same spirit. I, you're so funny.
See my face? I'm like,
I was just going to say, you gave him the evil eye.
I'm
Anyway,
what dog does not understand I am literally recording a
okay.
podcast right now. Like
And
I
most
cannot. Okay. If we're leaning into the public health space, and this is where you said this is where I shine.
yeah.
Tell me about the public health space and tell me how you shine.
Why is that difficult? Why are you struggling communicating with women? Are there some fear that you may then be shunned in your, I don't know, in their own sort of area of expertise? I don't
Let's
know.
be real. The best the
Or the
highest insult you can give to in the cishet world, the
yes,
highest insult you can give is that you're a girl.
that you're a
You
girl.
act like a girl, you're a sissy, you think like a girl, you talk
Uh-huh.
like a girl, you throw
Yeah.
like a girl,
You throw
you
like a
run like a
girl.
girl.
And go back to
So,
your what was your question again? You said why is it
yeah,
difficult?
why are you were like organization? I want to be the voice of organizations that are struggling to communicate, or not even struggling, the voice
Yeah.
of for organizations that need to communicate with women around their own health and wellness and advocacy.
Yes.
Why are we struggling? Why is
Yeah.
that?
Right.
How is this a world where this idea is disruptive?
Yeah,
Question mark.
yeah, exactly. Question mark. What and how are we How how has our voice, because over time it has, historically speaking, women has never had a voice in, in anything related to culture, our society. Our You don't have a voice because your place is often in the home. And trust me, I know that there are organizations that would differ and say, lady, you're speaking as if it's still 1970. Well,
It is still 1970.
it is. It
The only difference, no, that's not true.
I-
In 1970, we couldn't have a credit card or
oh,
open
that's
or
right.
get a bank loan. So there is that.
Without a signature from our, if I understand correctly, I think it's without a signature of either, if we were married, our spouse, or would he then be the lead, or um the primary. Anyway.
The financial, yeah,
Yeah.
overlord.
So,
So that is different. But yeah, it is not, it's still 1970. The cultural lag is real, even from a anthropological standpoint.
yeah,
Like just to, the world is changing and so rapidly
it is.
that like human beings, Homo sapiens sapien does not have the brain power to stay caught up in real time. And so that's how cultural lag happens,
It
where the
yeah.
world has changed and we're still
And we're
like,
still here. Exactly.
we're still like, what?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. When the world literally is changing. I mean, and our politics are changing that are influencing us at a very at a personal level. So the politics are changing, but the rest, but how we respond even to the politics, it's not even it's not supporting women's rights. It's making it difficult for us and for us to even have a voice on the things that matter, which are our own freaking bodies, which is the most important. I mean, if nothing else, you mean to tell me I don't have a voice whether or not I want to carry a child or whether or not I choose not to for the reasons that I've determined that are
or Janine, that the thing can freaking die inside you and you
that's
must
right.
carry it
You
around.
still must carry it.
Or that you have a life threatening pregnancy, but we have to wait
Okay. Right.
until it actually is life
What's
threatening.
yeah. And life threatening. Whose life? My life. Her life. Um, life, their own. You know, um, it it's like you how does the government get to decide? Anyway, but how does the government get to decide on about my body? Do they
How do
care?
men get to decide
Yeah,
about my body?
exactly right. How did men get to decide about my body? I mean, when you take that, it's personal. And I would even ask any man if someone else had control over what you could do with your own body, how would you feel? And not that your feelings usurp or um, matter more than mine. But if for this country, they're the majority of the decision makers. So I don't know. I it's just it's it, but yet, do you really care about how much money I'm bringing into the house? Do you really care about how easy it might be for me to get an education in this country? Do you really care? I mean, those are the things that matter, right? So that I can build my life in the way that I choose. No, you don't care about that. So you nitpick and you find an issue that the majority of your kind can support. I just have a huge problem with that. And um
And many of us do.
yeah, I know.
And
Yeah.
so get your mission, or where the sand you place your sword, as you so
Yeah,
eloquently
so
said it before. Like,
yeah,
if there is somebody who can bridge the communication gap between organizations who purport to be invested in women's health and wellness and empowerment and education and
yeah,
etc.,
yes,
they cannot seem to get there, and you are the vehicle, you Sherpa them,
yeah,
down the
you
river Styx of the patriarchy, shall we say.
exactly.
Then I think that is really important work. I'd love to hear more why. Yeah, like if you look, even would take your nonprofit for example,
Yeah,
like lots of people start nonprofits and they're to help, to support women for whatever, in whatever arena.
yeah,
How are they struggling to get their message across, and how will your understanding of the material be the magic bullet?
mm. First of all, from a nonprofit perspective, what's challenging, as always, is funding. And you find yourself competing against very large nonprofits that have obviously made a name, and applause to them. I mean, trust me, but have made a name for themselves. But you find yourself because what's unique about so there's a uniqueness about our nonprofit and how we reach women. and the topics that we address, which include menopause, which include, of course, cancers, gynecologic cancers as well. But what's made it challenging for us is that our voice is barely being heard because we don't have the dollars to support a lot of the promotion that's necessary. So, but we're working at it. So, I'm not, that that's not as much of an issue as it is um, dealing with, and I'm going to use menopause as an example. So, let's say there's an organization out there that really wants to address menopause from the perspective of health providers and encouraging and educating providers around really following the breadcrumbs. So if a woman presents herself as having, a particular issue, are you really looking at the person? Are you trying to identify, wait, where is she? How old is this woman? Is she 40? Okay, she's been complaining of anxiety and dealing with whatever the issues, because they could be a number. I mean, there's like over, and I probably have the number wrong, and someone will correct me, and I hope they do. But I mean, there are over 90 or so, conditions that are symptoms that relate to menopause, right? But often our physicians, unfortunately, because they're not being taught in school, they're unless you choose this area, and you choose to delve down into the area of menopause, there are few experts, although there's an organization. Hmm. So there's an organization that is it NAMS, that people can be certified in providing excellent care in the area of menopause. But for the most part, you may think, ladies, and people who have need to see a gynecologist, you may think that a gynecologist, or even your PCP, you think that they know what they're doing, and that they're helping to guide you, but they're not, because they don't understand even the hormonal issues that could be affecting you. And the first thing they'll say, well, sometimes, oh, we'll do a test, an FSH, and I can't say the term fully, but usually it's the symptoms that helps a clinician lead you to identifying whether or not you are in a stage of menopause.
Janine, Zach launched a new brand yesterday, so I'm gonna check in on it. ZB, how's it going over there at Dive, buddy?
Everything's going good. We launched everything, got all the stuff ready. We kind of decided everything launched at like 10 a.m. So we decided at like 9 that we were like, okay, we're going to kind of do this a little bit more soft than we thought we were going to do it. But yeah, everything's going good. I mean, all systems are in place and whatnot. So
I haven't gotten an invitation to the Facebook group yet.
Yeah, it's there. I'll have to send you an invitation. I'll write that down.
Okay, that sounds good. Janine, Zach's family has a family business in accounting and CPA.
Okay.
And so Zach's been like working in the business since he was a wee teenager.
Oh, wow.
And yesterday they launched kind of like a new brand under they have like some niche brands that all kind of like are a skin on accounting for specific industries. And yesterday they launched one that was for scuba dive shops.
Oh my gosh. So you guys are really niching down into Oh, that is very, very cool. You don't really see that in that business. I don't know.
Yeah, most people just try to target everybody, and we kind of realized probably about 2017, 2018 that it's just impossible to target everybody, because your target audience, especially in a scenario like this, is something that's like super specific. So we want to work with, a certain type of person, and all of our niches kind of encompass that certain type of person. So when we look at it, we look at, is it a family-owned business? Is it an experienced business? We look at a lot of specific things from that. So then we were able to build out our niches around that. Mm-hmm. So like our niches, we work with campgrounds. We camp. So we work with campgrounds. So, we teach them not just about, and you can give them a lot more value that way too, I've found, because instead of just saying, here's how to market your business, you can say, okay, here's the specific strategies that a campground should use, or here's, a specific thing that this industry is specific to. And being able to have that very niche down kind of specific thing, especially when it comes to offer. I mean, it's the topic of the day. Like, the niche is like, if you can dial in on a niche like that, it's a lot easier to target people.
I can only imagine, especially in the space of accounting, whereas, like you say, a lot of people do the same thing and they're trying to turn
Yeah.
out the same type of business to everyone, or offer the same benefits, if you will, to everyone, and
Yeah.
everyone will say yes. But boy, to be able to specialize in certain
Mhm.
areas is just really cool. And then that person, the scuba company are going, oh my God, they know us.
Yeah.
They get us. They get our
As,
business and
as
all that.
Rebecca would say, special, different, or the one. It's like the way that
Yeah.
you kind of stand out. Like, the I don't know, it's like a lot easier to target those people because they're like, yeah, this is the person for me. They understand like specific things about my industry. They understand like, that kind of stuff. So like, it's good.
Very cool. Very cool. I'm glad to hear about that. I have to just tighten up my screen just a little bit. This will probably come out. Okay. So it wasn't clean. So anyway,
Janine, a little later, I'll text you a link to the website that just launched for this new niche, so you get a
I would
little
love
kick
to
out
see.
of it. You'll
I would
see,
love to see.
you'll see kind of all these ideas come to life, and then that signature Rebecca Gunter
Oh,
copy.
I was gonna say, I'm sure it is just what is saturated with Rebecca Gunter copy. So as it should be.
Well,
It's
especially with diving, there's just so much opportunity for wordplay. It's like
Yeah,
everything.
exactly. Everything. Exactly. From under the sea to no kidding, but
We did
um,
undersea entrepreneurs.
I bet of course. Of course. And they will get a kick out of that.
Mhm.
You know what I
It should
mean?
be. It should
Yeah.
be.
Oh, bravo. I look forward to receiving the link and then also referring others that I may know, because sometimes you don't know who
Yeah.
you know until you have a conversation. You're like, oh my God, yeah, my dad owns a scuba shop in Connecticut. I just make up something, go like, oh my God.
Connecticut.
Yeah.
Connecticut.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
this is an awesome segue because Janine is niched down like a motherfucker herself.
I am.
She, if you've been following along at home, Zach, you already know
He knows
that
better than anyone.
that this entire brand is a voiceover agency specializing in Black and Brown voices and causes for social impact and positive change, and essentially humanitarian efforts. And Janine herself, being voiceover artist of one,
Mm,
specializes in public health for women.
that's
Public
absolutely
health
right.
and
Yep.
public health for women. Would it be helpful for you to see positioning here, Zach, or have you already kind of seen
Oh,
it
I've already seen it.
as it gone by?
I'm gonna be honest. I've probably watched these episodes more than anybody. Like, sometimes we go through like 4 rounds of reviews, so I'm just like continually watching it. So yeah, yep.
You know what?
Okay, you're up to speed.
I probably need to watch them at least 4 times as well. Yeah, but you've seen the edited and unedited versions, which is
Yeah.
also it's interesting to me that that side of these conversations. So really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, and
you couldn't.
the one thing is, there's, with most, like, content, there's a lot that gets cut, but with Business in the Raw, it's actually fairly, it's similar. Like, the ideas are brought to life through the raw, and it's just like straight to the final draft. I mean, there's not as much cut out as in most shows. So
Yeah, that's great. Okay, that's good to hear. Yeah, I honestly I haven't noticed over time, that a lot has been cut out, but I can definitely tell like when I'm edited and I think, thank God he didn't add all those ums and oohs and sort of like, well, but anyway,
Of polish and panache. So
but
I
it's
think it
helping me a
has
lot.
kind of a lot of quality of a live stream in that way. And truly doubling down on it being very raw. The world is our oyster. Am I right, you
Indeed.
guys?
Absolutely.
Okay. Awesome. So, ZB, the reason we asked you to come and be resident expert in the chair today is because this is the episode in which Janine and I have been like crawling through the glass towards a signature offer. And a lot of that came out of positioning because it's like, what do they need? So, you're well versed in the conversation around that. And I happen to know that you are hyper focused, extremely passionate on offers right now and creating cajillion-dollar offers, signature
Yeah.
offers. So I'm really hoping that our quality conversation today will yield to us being able to, kind of like chisel out of marble whatever Janine's signature offer will be. And I'm delighted to kind of share that it's not a hypothetical exercise because she does have a real live kind of fish on the line here that we could benefit from knowing what an offer would be. So your timing is
It's
perfect as usual.
absolutely perfect. I called Rebecca yesterday, and Rebecca, you tell me when you're ready to sort of dive into that, and
Go ahead.
I'll shorten the story. At the end of the day, there is an asphalt company, and I know that's not public health, but it's an offer. And there's an asphalt company in the local area that is interested in promos on the radio. And so after some interesting conversation, I asked him if he could just send me via email what he's looking for, and then we would turn something around. At the time, I wasn't sure. I knew Rebecca reminded me that this particular session was around signature offer, and so we decided just to use this a real concept, to move this discussion forward. So, looking forward to it.
Yeah, Zach.
It's
Yeah, Zach. So go. No, just kidding.
I know. And you know what? That may not be enough information, but I did share with him just some things because he wants to write his own script. And to be honest with you, I was a little I just wasn't sure how much I wanted to give at that time. And the reason is I just wasn't sure just how serious he really was about it. So he said, "Oh, I can write it." I'm thinking, well, and I told him that we have people, that also can fine tune. I said, but I would like to see what you're thinking, what he understands about his own company. It's a family-owned business. His which fits right into sort of you guys' niche area.
Yeah.
But but in particular, his father still works on the job sometimes, but it's being handed over to him according to him. So yeah. I don't know how
I
much
would
more you
say
need.
I would say the theme there that really shines to me is regenerative and kind of the around your core value of like we got it from the ancestors and we hand it to our children.
Mm,
So while maybe this isn't women's public health, there is still something there is very strongly aligned with your core values in legacy business and grow.
Yeah, honestly, I wish that that we would have because I called him because I was interviewing folks around to get some asphalt done, in my asphalt work. And I wish this conversation would have come up before because he even said he goes, "Wow, I wish I would have known this could have been a barter thing," because I ended up not selecting his company. So which is even another twist, but a twist that really doesn't matter in terms of what we're doing. But I was just impressed that he also was impressed by what you know what we discussed and perhaps
Yeah.
his future. Yeah. But
So here we are. So sorry, Janine, go ahead.
well, he initially mentioned television, and I said, well, I said, I don't know what kind of staff you have. I said, but that would require a television crew. And to be honest with you, I was trying to gear him more to radio anyway. I think that's a better pitch for him. So sorry, Rebecca. I just wanted to make sure I shared that.
Oh no, I'm so glad you did. I think in an instance where you've got a client that's going to point you towards television, we'd be looking for a partnership with somebody who has a crew ready to go out there, a la
Yeah.
Paul or someone like that. But right now, this is a perfect opportunity for us to decide what would a signature offer look like in the barest minimum viable product, something we could definitely add on to, like, oh, now get a custom script. Oh, now add positioning. Oh, now add, this other thing. But where the challenge before us is what's the baseline, what's the job, what's the baseline, signature offer, and how can we make something that is how can we make something that where the only question is, I'd be dumb not to spend that money. Like,
Yeah,
who wouldn't buy this thing? So
exactly.
I'll turn it over to you, Zach, to kind of give us a little walkthrough on, like, what is an offer. We've been bantering that word around a lot. So for the audience at home, like, what do we mean by an offer? What do we mean by signature offer? And what is your philosophy around creating them, Zach?
Yeah, I think the offer is a huge topic. I mean, it's like it's the lifeblood of your business. Like, what you offer, it's your business. So, if you offer voiceover work, then your work is voiceover. But I think the underlying theme here that I see, and with every sort of freelancer, whether it's me, whether it's Rebecca, whether it's you, whoever it is that there's a lot of competition. You have to make sure that you're not just competing on price, because that's not what we want. We don't want to compete on price. So the easier way to do that, instead of lowering your prices, you want to add more stuff to your package. So bonuses, adding more stuff to your package. I think that's super important. So like for me, what I did was originally my offer was, okay, I'll do video editing. All right. So then I added on, everyone's a video editor. You can go hire a video editor on Fiverr and, get the same result. But what I added on was, okay, we'll help you with the ideation. We'll help you with the scripting process. We'll help you, with the pre-production. And then also we'll help you, know how to record, know what equipment you should be using, give you a bunch of free resources. We have different resources. We have growth courses. We have a lot of different things going on in the back end. And then we started, on the post-production side, we'll do the editing. We'll post it for you. Like, we add on a bunch of different things on top of it that makes the offer more valuable versus trying to decrease the price to make it perceived more valuable. So don't ever decrease your price. You want to add on bonuses. So I think in your case, I think it's, and for me, I think it's very important that I kind of, whenever, at least when I offer it, I always offer the entire package, scripting, ideation. I never offer gigs for videos. For me, I work on retainer because I just, I believe in a subscription model. And it's, for me, I hire people to, to do my deliverables because I'm smart enough to know that in some cases, there are people out there that are smarter than me that can provide a better results. And I'm very results driven. So in the kind of scenario that I'm in, I offer that larger package of, the ideation, the scripting, like all of that stuff. And it makes my offer seem more valuable. So I think the first thing you want to look at is what can you add into your offer to make it more valuable and make it seem different? Because when people go out, I know I get a lot of people, if they're inbound, that come to me and they say, hey, what makes you different than just hiring a video editor on Fiverr? And so I can list off those things right off the top of my head. Okay, ideation, scripting, posting, like all of that stuff. I have that down. So I know, okay, this is the bonus that is added on. And this is why I am more valuable.
Right.
So if you can add in some bonuses like that, you're going to be a lot better off as far as trying to sell the product and trying to actually make that no-brainer offer, because nobody else is looking at, well, I can get it cheaper here, or I can get it. They can't even say I can get a better result here because they don't have anything like it. It's different than every other offer they've ever heard.
That's those are great great tips, because I think in this case, for this person, it would also include, because he's not a company that's done this before, obviously. So not only is he wanting to write his own script, and to be honest with you, I actually suggested it because I wanted to know more, just how serious it was, but I also want to know more about his company, what he thinks about it. But in particular, sometimes when you're working with organizations, they already know where they want to release the ad, right? And in this case, I either would have to be working with someone else or hire someone to actually release the ad, but that would be a benefit, I think. It's not something that he would have to do on his own. Other companies would know, okay, yeah, we're hiring a voiceover because we need to get this ad out, and they know what, where, they want it released. And I'd like to know more about his own, or either I do the homework, to learn more about his his audience. He says he doesn't necessarily want to work uh, in Maryland, D.C. Northern Virginia seems to be his home, home base, but he wants to expand. So yeah, I'm just not sure what else to add to that. I'm sure there's a lot that can be added to in school and to include scripting, as you mentioned. But anyway, I'll just stop there because I know Rebecca probably has some other ideas that I'm not thinking about.
Well, the only thing I want to back up in is get Zach to define 3 things for the people at home who don't know what they are.
Ah,
What's an offer? What are bonuses? And what is inbound mean?
Mm-hmm. So your offer is basically just what you offer. It's very simple. Like, it is what it sounds like, and like a lot of people try to overcomplicate it. Like, oh, it should be this amount of words. It should be this wording. 13 words with this kind of like guaranteed that. Like, it doesn't have to be that specific. An offer is just what you actually do. So in your case, it might be a voiceover. In your case, it might be we offer this package. Your offer is just what you tell the people that you offer. The inbound is basically, when we are kind of transitioning our offer again to make it even more valuable and adding on more bonuses. So we're offering, setting and closing and stuff like that to make it super valuable so that people can't say no. And it's all going to be on performance basis. So that's a little bit of what's to come. But when you look at, outbound is like if you send out outbound DMs, like, hey, this person could potentially be a prospect. I'm going to send them a DM and start a conversation. Inbound is when those people come to you. Mm-hmm. So the goal is to get more people coming to you because those people are going to be a lot more valuable because they already know about you and it's their choice to come to you versus you going out and trying to find them. So when you go out and try to find them, you can find people, but especially like when I just did video and just did social media, the issue that I ran into with outbound was that typically when I go out, you have to find somebody who is already actively looking for video marketing. So in my case, it was very hard to find people because there were very few people that were actively looking for it because you can't provide a result on it necessarily, the direct ROI. So that's why the offer being a performance-based offer for me works well. Now, I know a lot of people aren't able to, get the direct ROI because, either their ads, they don't have a way to do it. Like if you did a TV ad, for instance, you're not going to know, hey, this is exactly, the direct ROI on it. But to find a way to be able to offer some sort of return that the goal is to provide more value to them than they're providing to you. So especially when you're starting off, you're getting case studies, you're getting, all of this stuff built up. The best way to do that is by, to start just over deliver every time. And that's one of my core values, like literally over deliver every single time, no matter what it is, just over deliver on it, over promise and over deliver on that over promise and, make it the best that it can be. And I think when, people come inbound, it's a lot easier to do that because they already know what to expect and they know about you and they kind of are looking for that kind of stuff. So, and then on to bonuses. Bonuses are basically just something that you'd add on to your package. So for me, like video marketing, like the video editing itself is was the signature offer originally. And then we added stuff onto it. So you add on free resources. You add on, if you want to produce an ad, you might work with, say, Paul or somebody like that, and they'll help you produce an ad or produce, you could work with Rebecca and have them produce positioning for you and build it into more of a package so that it's not just a commoditized offer and people aren't just like, hey, this is just another voiceover agency. This is just somebody on Fiverr that I could go, get for half the price. Like, you want to make sure that you're adding on those specific things, whether that's scripting, whether that's, the editing side of it, like whatever it is, you want to make sure that you can add on extra stuff to make the package seem more valuable than the price that they're paying.
Okay, let's do that. Let's figure out what this would be for Janine, like for real, in real life.
Yeah.
Are you up for it?
Yeah.
Let's
do it.
Okay. Awesome. I think that it's probably going to be around, whatever the deliverable is. And there's probably like a 60-second spot, a 90-second spot, or maybe like a I don't know, like a 2-minute voiceover. I don't even know
Well,
where to kind of begin with that. But
yeah,
then I do believe that there's discovery in there, probably some positioning, and I don't know that I would always want the client to be providing the script, because your
And
success is only going to be as good as the script is. So
and I
yeah,
think
I'll
that
throw that out
yeah,
there.
yeah,
the
totally. Because oh,
yeah.
go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think that not letting people like is as counterintuitive as this might sound, not letting people script it is going to make your service seem more valuable and make people more dependent on you. So, like in my case, like I don't let if my client's like, hey, I want to publish it, okay, they can publish it. And they're going to have the copy to it in Google Drive. They're going to have all of that resource to it. But we want to publish it. We want to script it. We want to be more involved because it makes them more reliant on us. So now if they try to leave and they're just looking at, okay, can I do this on my own? They might be able to record on their own, yes, which is all they have to do. But are they going to be able to think of ideas? Are they going to be able to script it? Are they going to be able to do this? So as far as reducing churn and retaining the clients for longer, offering more is going to make them more dependent on you. So
Yeah, yeah, totally. I
I,
get that.
I
get
would
that.
all I would also add that what people really want to buy is the like belief and faith that it will get done. So in Zach's case, the reason, I'm like, shut up and take my money on a retainer is because I know that Mondays at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time on 100 TV, a new episode of Business of the Raw will come out. And I was not the single point of failure. So in this case, the value for me isn't exactly what Zach just said. It's like, I manage the YouTube channel for you. I make sure things get uploaded. In your case, Janine, guaranteeing that an ad will get out there instead of the planning and
Right.
okay, well, now I'm going to talk to somebody about it, and I'm going to wring my hands over the script for the next 6 months, and then we're going to go through 15 iterations, and then maybe we'll actually get to the radio. If we craft your signature offer where we eliminate the possibility, the variables of like failure on the client's part to deliver a script at all, much less a viable one, and just try and come up with something that's very, very tight that you can sell as like a one-stop shop, will then give them that peace of mind that I know 60 days from now I'll have a spot on the radio. Not spinning out and like iteration and perfection paralysis.
Exactly. And I just want to be clear that the only reason why I suggested, because he said, well, he knows what he wants to. Well, the bottom line is the only reason why I asked him to write the script, because honestly, I didn't think it was really going anywhere. But it was only after we continued to the conversation that I thought, okay, he might be serious. And I don't know whether or not this will make the cut. But that's the only reason. Otherwise, I surely know that I wouldn't have a client writing their own script or waiting for them to do so if it's in my best interest to have that done on this end. Personally, I have never had to write a script for anyone. And I was not thinking of this big picture of what we're doing today. I just knew that I wanted to jump on the phone or to share, I'll say, the opportunity, because it was only after the conversation ensued that I thought, okay, this might be an opportunity, for us to turn something around. So whether or not he does write it or not, my response to him, if I ever receive an email from him, would be this package or an offer for him. So I just want to be clear that I certainly don't expect every client to write their own script. Yeah.
And I think, like, I know you've gone through it here on Business in the Raw. I've gone through it multiple times, but the discovery process of positioning, that's an easy bonus to add. Like, how Rebecca goes in, and when you go through positioning, you go and do a discovery process. If you can do a discovery process before you're scripting and just kind of get ideas out of people, like, Rebecca will get the ideas out of you that you don't even know you have. Being able to have some sort of discovery process like that's an easy bonus to add. And then obviously the production of the actual script and then the voiceover, those are 2 easy bonuses to add. And if there's things that you're already doing and you're not branding them as a bonus, like say you already do a discovery process before you're scripting, but you just consider it scripting, add in that you do a discovery and brand that as something. Like, brand all your different elements. And then your kind of goal here is to, we talk about the value equation a good bit in my, course that I'm working on. The goal is to increase the dream outcome. So to show people that their dream outcome is actually possible, increase their likelihood of achievement, decrease their time delay on that. So whether that's, 60 days, 30 days, show them that there is something there, and then get rid of as much effort or sacrifice that they're going to have to make. So when it comes to value, it comes down to, either saving people time or making them money is typically what you want to look at for B2B value. And I think that, if you consider what's their outcome, what kind of, what is the likelihood of achievement right now, and then how will you make sure that likelihood of achievement actually gets done, it's going to be a lot more valuable for them, which means you can obviously charge more and make more money, which is obviously the goal of business.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's great information. Yeah.
Okay. So, Zach, in your estimation, based on what you know about Janine, what would the core offer be and what would the bonuses be? I'm going to throw out there what I think they are. So I think that the core offer is a finished file, a finished product that's ready to go on radio and maybe eventually on television. And then the bonuses are discovery, scripting, maybe original music, sound design, branded sound.
I think
what are
you
your
can
thoughts?
include ideation as well. I think ideation is definitely something that it's like it comes with the discovery process, but like I always brand ideation as a different thing. And the way we do it, it's very simple. Like I'm not even going to hold back the secret. Like the quote unquote secret is we go into ChatGPT, we ask it, okay, what are some ideas around this? Then we take those ideas into a Google Doc and basically, list out, is this a good idea? How can we actually use it on YouTube or whatever platform we're targeting? And then actually go a little bit more in depth on why the idea might work or might not work. Anything that's a bad idea, we take it out and, use the tools that you're given. Like if you go on there and you look at, okay, this asphalt company needs an ad, what could be a good creative way to make this ad actually something that people want to see? That's when the power of actually being able to have that offer comes in. And especially if you can show that to somebody as a sample, like say, before you even sign them on as a client, say, okay, here's an idea, here's something that we could do that would actually work. But for me, I'm starting to realize that you have to make your core offer around those 2 things, that either saving people time or making them money. So if it's a voiceover that's your final product, you want to make your offer more around how that voiceover is going to make them money when you word it. So, we're going to give you a polished piece that is a money-making machine, or, using something like that that's actually going to show people that they're going to make money. In my case, I do it, my goal is to, like I said, increase the dream outcome, show people that it's possible, the likelihood of achievement, increase that, and then decrease the time delay, and then decrease the effort. So my offer is, we'll book you 100 meetings per month as, in your first 30 days. If we don't book, your first 30 meetings, you don't pay anything, and you only pay per meeting. So you pay on a performance basis. So it decreases the risk. So being able to have something like that where you can show people, okay, even if you're doing, like, say, a TV ad and you can't say, okay, we brought you X amount of clients, you can say, okay, we're going to actually make you money in this way, and we're going to make something. I think it's very, very, very crucial that you brand it as something that's going to make them money, and not just necessarily as a time saver, but how it's going to actually grow their business. If you're targeting a B2B business, I think it's super important that you brand growth, and you brand, accelerating their growth versus just branding like we're going to give you a piece of voiceover footage.
Mhm.
Because if
Well-
you brand it just as a voiceover footage, you'll make it too much into a commodity. So if you can brand it as something that can actually make them money, they're going to see it as, you know, just seeing their dream outcome.
If I could just add a caveat in here, ZB, is that while we're looking at an asphalt company right now that is about, you know, increasing their money, that's an outlier, you know, kind of like random opportunity. I don't know whether or not public health organizations are going to want the message of making you more money. So maybe help us, and Janine, maybe I don't understand how the business of women's health actually works, but would that be their real motivator, or is it about like awareness or action or reduction or something like that? I just want to throw that out there.
Let me ask you this real quick to throw that in too. Are you targeting a business or are you targeting a consumer?
Yeah, in this case, for this person or for public health? Well,
in the public health, like just space in general.
Well, I think it all depends on what they're asking for. I mean, if they're asking for more awareness of the work that they do, then I think in both cases, first of all, I want to say, I think in both cases, there still is a bottom line of money, right? Whether or not it is a consumer, let's say it's a nonprofit. And if it is a consumer, if it's more consumer focused, they want to increase capacity to people coming to their website, maybe, or people becoming members of their organization. Members equal dollars if they're using that model. But if it's more of an awareness campaign of this is the work that we do, which is similar, there still is a money that is driving it. It should be, but we know that a lot of organizations, and particularly nonprofit, that they go into business, well, they don't even view it as a business sometimes, and that they have more of an altruistic focus. So I think in that respect, I think it still might be valuable to show them how building awareness can equal dollars. So I don't know. I think it always should be somewhat.
And like you said, for nonprofits, like I think the goal of a nonprofit is still to make money. Like it's whether you believe it or not, like you still have to have money to run your nonprofit.
That's right.
Now, you might not take money out, but you still have to have money to invest into the nonprofit to be able to actually get whatever impact you're trying to make. So if I think that just branding it around, like Rebecca said, like it's not always money that they're looking for, but you need to show that there is actually going to be a result there. So, whether it's increased brand awareness or money, I'll just say that I've always found it really hard to sell brand awareness and a lot easier to sell money. I don't know. That's just my experience.
Yeah.
Keeping it real, ZB. Keeping it real.
Yeah. So I have a question about the in terms of, because all of this is happening on the reverse for me. I mean, this just happened on a whim. But if this does move forward in terms of really having these ads on radio, that's not something I've ever done, or needed to do, is to be that person that then reaches out to a particular, I can't think what it's called, but, and to get them posted on WTOP or whatever. I mean, I have some ideas in mind, obviously, but not having done that, who do you know of? And I don't know if this is for Rebecca and for Zach, who actually does that, because that's something I would have to farm out, but that would be built into whatever the offer is, to them, because I would have to pay that organization.
Yeah, I would
that
say
company.
that would be something that is an extra bell and whistle, and at that point, you'd want to be cultivating relationships with PR, people who place press.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's expected that a client's going to come to you and be like, and now get us on the radio. Like they have bought ad time, or they're.
In this case, I think the answer would be yes, he would, because he doesn't really have an idea. Yes, Zach.
Yeah, I think it never hurts to build up relationships with those kind of people. So
of course,
in your case, I would go through and like maybe on LinkedIn search for people or look for people, on social media, and then just connect with them. Like that's what I do. I hop on a ton of calls, like literally probably, I think I have 2 or 3 after recording this today and recording my other stuff today that I have to hop on. That's just, people who are literally do the exact same thing that I do, just to pick their brains and to have them pick mine. But
Yeah, I
like
know.
in the case of like content or that kind of stuff, like I know a lot of people who are in the growth partner space where they're, setters, and they implement their setters and closers, and they have another content agency that actually builds their content. So having those relationships for the people that do want it is important, but you don't have to have it for everybody. So being able to have referrals and a network like that, I think is going to, help you just be able to refer people over.
Yeah, I mean, I have an organization that I probably reach out to. I guess what I'm asking, and perhaps I wasn't clear, is that to add that as part of a package that may not necessarily be utilized at all times. How do you manage that? So, well, I guess you just roll it in when you need it, and when you don't add it as part of your package. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, and like, even if it's not necessarily something that you offer, I mean, if it's radio and you don't always do radio, you could say, hey, we'll do this, and we'll work with these people. You go and work with a colleague or somebody, say you have a radio PR person, somebody like that. You make a deal with them where you say, okay, hey, I'll refer you people, but I get 5% or I get whatever. And then what you do on the back end of that is, you can either offer it as an add-on or a bonus as like a custom offering, or you can actually charge for it. So you can say, hey, I'll refer you over to these people who I trust for X amount of dollars. Now, what I would do is I would just add that on as a kind of bonus add-on for free, and you just work with those people. So in like my case, in my course that I'm building out, Rebecca's in that course. So we went on and we sat there for probably 30 minutes and talked about positioning, messaging, that kind of stuff. And I refer people over to her because we have sort of a deal where, like, okay, Rebecca does the positioning, and then we can actually implement that for the branding. So it adds on an extra level of, obviously they're not going to get free positioning with my package, but they'll get access to the people who can do positioning and who can actually brand your business.
Okay, got it.
And I think from a branding side too, it's important that you have connections there, because I think a lot of people are looking, especially when you're first starting out, you're not always going to get, the biggest public health people, right? You're going to have smaller people to start. And I'm not saying that they have less or more money to invest, but being able to help them start to build up your brand, that's how you're going to actually get those case studies and, people who are super happy with the service that you're delivering, that will spread the word of mouth and that will, help you grow your business.
Okay.
Zach, sorry, Janine.
No, I was just saying, okay, thank you.
I just don't want to talk over you.
That's all right. I don't have much to say.
Zach, do you think that how are we actually now, pen to paper, going to structure something? Is it 30-second spot, 60-second spot, 2-minute voiceover, 1 hour long thing? Like, where do we start with this?
Yeah, I think the place that you want to start first is defining, okay, defining your signature offer is going to be what actually makes you the most money. So I offer different things. So some of my people I offer, they're like grandfathered into just the content marketing. They have content marketing and, short form and long form content. They just have long form. They just have short form. Like, there's all different types of offers. So like, you don't want to necessarily just have one offer, because some people need different things. There's going to be different things that people need, but your signature offer is, a lot of people try to, break this down as in, which one's actually better offer, but it's the one that makes you more money. That's what your signature offer is. So whatever your main offer is the one that's going to make you the most money. And that's kind of where you want to start is, what is the thing that's actually going to make you the money? And for me, like, all of my packages are custom because I really believe in, fostering a client relationship. So my offer changes for pretty much every client. Now, being able to have that structured offer after you grow a little bit to say, okay, this is exactly what we're going to do. These are the systems that we have in place in the back end of things. This is how we're going to structure it. That is going to be helpful in the future. But right now, when you're small, to be able to start out and see what do people actually want is going to be how you start to kind of grow and scale the business, because you can't sell, you can't sell lemonade in the desert because there's nobody in the desert to buy the lemonade, right? There could be, if you were in the desert, you might be super thirsty for some lemonade, but if there's nobody in the desert, you're not going to sell any lemonade. So like, that's kind of the framework that you want to look at is what do people actually want? And how can you fulfill on that want by adding more things to it? So if people want video, how can we help them strategize their video for, making sure they get published on time, making sure that they have a script, they know what they're recording, they know when the due dates are to actually record, there's specific set in stone guidelines that they should be following. What equipment should they be like? All of that stuff is going to be what actually kind of helps you figure out your offer.
Janine, what do you think is the baseline? Is it a 30-second spot?
Yeah, I think it's a 30, no more than a 60-second spot. I don't know if he's ready for I have no idea because we haven't had any other discussion, but based on that initial conversation, I think a 30, 60-second spot, local radio, obviously. And, in the future, if he wants to go for television, great, but he would need someone in this case. Again, the future holds something different, but I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're both saying, but I hear what you're saying, Zach, that for this, it would be great to have a package for people like him that really doesn't know doesn't have access perhaps in terms of marketing. I mean, he knows his business, in and out, but, would need someone to help guide, the entire process. But on the public health side, there may be an organization who already, kind of knows what they want. I don't know whether or not they will already have had a firm who drafts the copy, or if that's something that we would do. So it's almost like 3 packages in a way. But the signature, I hear you loud and clear. This is what I'm trying to get to, is that signature package is the one that's going to make the most money across either of the models that we're talking about.
And remember,
right?
it's not the one that's going to cost the most for them. It's the one that's going to make you the most money. So,
I thought I said that.
No, that is what you said. But I'm just clarifying, it's not the highest price one necessarily. It's the one where people are actually going to buy it and it's actually going to bring in the most revenue. So a lot of people make
profitability.
A lot of people make the mistake of looking for the highest package. If you have 3 packages from psychology standpoint, you want people to buy the middle package.
Right.
So you want to have one package that's like, crazy low, like it's just a voiceover. And you want one package that's like, okay, here's your scripting, here's your voiceover, here's your, your ideation, here's the discovery call, all this stuff. And then you want to have an egregiously high priced package that's just, a ton of stuff in there. You get positioning with Rebecca, you get an ad shot live with Paul, or, whatever it is. You want one that's like priced low, one that's priced really high, and then one that's right at your sweet spot. That's because from a psychology standpoint, if you're looking at 3 different packages, you want to buy that middle package, is the one that you're trying to target people at.
Right. And I think for this person, because this is who we're talking about, that in this case, it would be sort of a middle of the road, because I know he needs more than just, package number 1, whatever that looks like, that it probably would be a middle of the road. Not sure whether or not number 3, again, just based on everything we've just talked about, that I don't know if the number 3 package that might include television, which would involve Paul King, which would be awesome. But I think for this person, and it's still a great offer that will, it is. It's the best. What did you say? It's the best. It's the best offer, but it's not necessarily the largest amount.
It's the most profitable. It's the easiest lift for you. You can do it in your sleep. Like for me, it's positioning because the value is so high
too. Like it's a mix of profitability and which one actually sells, right? So your egregiously high price one is not going to sell as much as your middle of the road package, and your lowest package isn't going to sell as much because there's not as much value offer there. So you want people, like I said, to go down that middle of the road package, because that's going to be the one where, you're going to actually make the most sales and you're going to make the most money off of it.
That's right.
Purely look at it like, okay, here's how much money I made on package 1, 2, and 3. 2 is going to be your most or your best like money making package.
Right. And it sounds like, because I think I heard Rebecca adding in sort of I call it like turnkey, where I know that I can do, like you said, I can do it with my eyes closed, and not to say that I'm not giving it, as much effort as possible, but can be done from a labor perspective, with ease, that the systems are in place or whatever. And it still makes there's value there, because I'm not spending more than
Yeah.
more money than what I'm getting in. So I think I'm
Mhm.
getting that.
Yeah.
Janine,
Yeah.
hey, girl, hey, it's me.
Hey.
I thought it might be helpful to just kind of take a look at positioning and messaging packages for stone fruit, just to take a look
Okay.
to
Yeah.
show you how, like, you've got like your baseline and you've got your like bells and whistles. So just to share with you.
Okay. That's helpful.
Mm-hmm. Let me get back to the actual original tab. Oh Lord. Okay, over here.
So
Great. So here we kind of have three different options, and I've defined who they're for and kind of what's in here. So when you're going through positioning and messaging, solo shops, service providers, like evergreen initiatives, it's the discovery, it's positioning and messaging, and then there's a strategy call about how to use it. So you just have kind of like these little, bonus reasons to buy, like rapid transformation, articulation, application, and you can buy that now. Then if you're a team or you're turnkey or you're on grow, then it's got, customer personas, pain points, the customer journey, transformative beliefs, a brand story, core values. Those aren't things that I define just in the baseline one.
Right.
And then
Right.
if you've got the big honking, expensive jaunt that's like just under $10,000, that also has an employee brand book, strategy, mission and vision statements, asset assessment, and kind of these other bells and whistles. So I think that this is might be helpful for you just to see what yours might look like. So on your
Yeah.
one, all the way on the left might be for like, one-stop shop, or for like mom and pops, owner operated, legacy businesses. And then the middle one might be for nonprofits, public health and social impact organizations. And then the big one might be around for nationwide campaigns, subscription models, or just
Yeah.
just
This is
sharing some of that.
Yeah,
And I
and
could be wrong, but you position all those, right, Rebecca? Like each package
Yes.
individually? Yeah. So
Yes.
I
Yes.
I know her too well, but like to be able to have that positioning for each package,
yeah,
like
you
to be
have
able
to
to
know.
say, the 5 questions of who are the people, what do they need, who are you, what do you deliver, why are you special, different
Yeah.
than the one, hey, I got it this time.
Yeah,
To be able to,
they
have
are
that,
hard
so
to
each
keep up with.
package is going to be able to be a lot more of a selling point, because you can say,
Right.
okay, this is exactly who you are.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
the package that you need.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I first of all, yeah, so thank you, Rebecca, for sharing this. I mean, and you see the same sort of model for anything that you buy, right? I mean, if you want, you get the free app service, or you get the pro, and you got the pro plus or whatever. But what's helpful here is that this is sort of in my space, in my genre, in my, that I can really understand how that needs to be well, I'll just say laid out. So, but the positioning for each one, and I don't know if we've yet gone through like different packages and being well, I know we haven't, but to position each package. And right now, I think I'm looking at one, or am I selling myself short, just by thinking small, just right now honing into one major package, or major one package that I think I can deliver, given the resources that I have available to me.
Janine,
Yeah.
I just want to show one more here.
Yes.
So here we are on Zach's new niche that launched yesterday, as we talked about at the top of the show. Their services are also broken out into packages. So if you are kind of like a student of it. This is free, so they have a freemium, and that gets you access to Facebook group and to
Oh,
ask
that's cool.
some just knowledge stuff, just a little community building.
And I'll say
Then
this is a really good example of, if you have one signature package, just a really good example of how you actually brand your signature package and then make your other offers things that are still valuable, but aren't like people are going to, jump on them. They're going to want to jump on your signature offer.
Yeah. This
Like
is
with that freemium package, that's a package it's free. It gives out a ton of value and it nurtures your clients, because remember, it's not all about just, your free clients aren't going to make you any money, because A, they'll spread word of mouth, and B, if you nurture them enough, your clients will grow as they grow their business. They're going to, grow with you. So they're going to grow up in their packages.
very interesting. This is this is helpful. I mean, this is
this is his signature package.
Yeah,
Here is this
right.
master
Okay.
one, which is done for you. I mean, this is I want to say a traditional CPA relationship with the least traditional accounting firm ever, but this is like your one-on-one. They're doing the books for you. You have strategy meetings. You're doing tax saving strategies. You're planning. You're like going through all the things.
Wow.
But then this one back here in the middle is like this, very, very light. They'll set up your books for you. You can ask the CPA, but it's email, so it's not instantaneous. There's some specialty events and some things that they can tap into that the freemium can't. So, just kind of thinking that this was the one that ideally we make our customers into, and this is the option while they're on that growth journey.
And another big thing
that's masterful.
Yeah. Another big thing that I'll add is like the other two packages are filtering people out. So, by having these three packages, you can really filter in on, okay, this is exactly who I want to work with. These are the people that, don't have enough. Like the big thing is they don't have enough money right now to afford me. Okay. Well, they can take advantage of those free resources, and then the free resources are built to help them actually grow their business and to save more money.
Right.
So when you actually bring people value like that, and, like I said, save time or make money, if you can bring them value in that free package, then they can advance to the, advanced package.
Yeah.
So now they're getting a little bit more value. They're getting, a little bit more commitment from them. They're paying $179 a month. Okay.
Yep.
A little bit more commitment. And then they realize, dang, man, I really need to, up my game, because this is really good knowledge, but it's not enough because I still have to put in a lot of work. Okay, now I'm going to elevate to the master package. So what you're doing is you're filtering those people out who aren't fit for your services. You're saving yourself time in that way, because you don't want to be on the phone all the time with just people who are never going to be a client. They're never going to be, a good fit for you.
Right.
But you still want to provide them enough value so that, like you said earlier, if they know somebody who is in public health in, Arkansas, and you want to, do something for them, they can refer you.
Right.
So you always got to look at the lifetime value, even if there's nobody there, of referrals too.
Right. This is very helpful. I have to say that it is it's mind blowing, but to do this work, the value ahead is more than just as many entrepreneurs, you're viewing. It's just an exchange between that one client or two or 100. But these models allow you to build broader relationships as well, which is, it's really important and keeps them coming. It keeps them coming and keeps well, to use the theme like octopus, even, like a lot of legs. Well, I don't know if they really call them legs and arms, but ain't tentacles or whatever. Yeah, exactly.
They are arms. And did you know that each one of those arms has a brain? An octopus has 9 brains. One brain in each arm and a master brain. They also have 3 hearts, and their blood is copper rich, and they have a beak.
Yeah, you have some sort of LinkedIn profile or something for it, don't you, Rebecca?
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
I know you don't just know that off the top of your head. You researched that for copy. I can tell.
She did. She did.
I do. I
forgot
have
what she's
a
called. What is she called?
she is called Octophilia.
Yeah.
Octophilia. Yeah, I could.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I
so
invented
it's
her.
awesome.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I invented her to create a LinkedIn profile that people could actually
Identify with.
navigate and click around in. She was based on a real person. I'll actually share her. She was based on a real person, and I took their LinkedIn profile and modified it for an octopus.
Wow.
So I'll share this tab instead.
I have
Yeah,
no comment. I have. You're amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Are
all
we
I can say.
Am I sharing a screen?
No, here I
Not
got
yet.
it.
Okay. Oh, Zach's
There we
got me.
Oh, awesome.
Whoops.
Yeah, I remember this. I remember. Oh, I love it. Wow.
She's taking
Funny
a
because
while to load.
these are elements that I didn't notice before. This is interesting. Okay.
It's because
Mythic.
Jill always wants Octophilia in the drawers.
That's
She's like, what the hell with this octopus? She was
But
really here.
it showcases originality and creativity in a way that you don't often see, particularly in a LinkedIn profile. But hey, look, it's serving a purpose right now. So
Yeah.
It is serving a purpose right now, exactly.
yeah,
Plus, her
I
history
like
is
this.
her
God.
history as a hospitality coordinator. She's went to the School of Hard Knocks.
I can't take it. I can't
Look, she's even got some endorsements and interest.
I can't take it. Oh, I can't. I can't. I can't. Okay. But point well taken.
Have
But
fun.
but
Right?
to have that, I think it's powerful because it shows that you're not just like any old copywriter, right?
Yeah.
If you're scrolling through LinkedIn and there's all these people in their suits,
Yeah.
looking at you like that, and like every single person has the exact same picture. You can't tell
sure
people
do.
apart. And then all of a sudden you get a friend request from an octopus.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna be like interested. You're gonna actually go check it out. So
you're gonna check it out and you're gonna read it. Yeah, because you want to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
A very, very, very unique and helpful. Even in this session, in thinking. Okay, I can't. But
when I tell you, Janine, that she actually has a podcast episode, she has a 5-minute podcast episode where she actually talks.
Are there bubbles going in the background as your sound effect or anything? Oh, okay.
She should be though.
Wow.
She should be. I'll send that to you.
This is really. I can't call it just mind blowing, but first to realize that perhaps this is where I am, and needing to be thinking about just all of this. So, and yeah, and honestly, yeah, well, I'm not saying anything. It's just that this has been very helpful. It's given me a lot to think about, and I'm trying to think of where I start. Rebecca knows me, and you do as well, right, Zach? But in terms of just method, like what, I guess I just start laying out what I am able to provide, but what I know that I need, what other services I need. I know, as we've already talked about, a model where, Rebecca's engaged in this work, but then also identifying someone who has and I already know who it is. Well, I know what type of person or organization I need to actually get the ad on radio. I've never had to think about this part of an offering, not at all. But this could be a signature offer, and I don't know.
I think that
it's
so
just
many
different
people
for me.
overlook it. Yeah, I think so many people just overlook their offer so much. They look more at, how can I make the most money? But in reality, if you want to make the most money, you need to be looking at what impact can you actually provide for them.
Yeah, wow.
Because when you can provide an impact, and I know you know this very well, like when you can provide an impact to somebody and they say, man, that was a really good service. That was great customer service, or that was really great. I got great results from this.
Yeah.
When they can say things about it like that,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
it's a lot easier to, get a word of mouth to spread, but B, to actually just have happy customers that are going to come back to you consistently.
Right.
And that's kind of your goal, because it's always easier to get a returning customer than
That's
it is
right. Then it's
to get a
yeah,
new customer.
of
So
course.
if you can, make your customers happy, get them results, and show them before they sign on that your offer is good enough to get them results, and what the actual offer will do for them from a wording standpoint, you want to show, like I said, the dream outcome.
Yeah.
How will this benefit their life? Will it save them time? Will it make them money? Will it be more efficient? What can you do to show people, right, how your offer is going to help them, versus just saying, I do voiceover.
Mm-hmm.
So show them how it's going to be easier to, reach their dream outcome.
Right.
Show them how their likelihood of achieving their dream outcome is going to increase from going with your service.
Right. And and again, I just keep focusing on this scenario because it may happen. It may happen, and he may submit something, but I need then to turn that around, whatever it is he submits, because I would be pleased if he did.
Mm-hmm.
But then that needs to be turned around, though, because obviously, and unless he's a great copy editor, or and can write a script, great. But I then will have to have already have in place what I can offer based on that, which is turning that around, because it would have to be rescripted. It would have to be. I know I'm getting into nuts and bolts because I'm not concerned. Well, I guess I'm concerned that this may happen. and I want to be able to. Yeah, I do. I want to be prepared. But what would you all suggest, or what would you suggest, Rebecca? What would you suggest? Once I do get the script that probably will give me what I'm looking for, because I don't really know anything about his business. I haven't done any of the the ideation or any of that, the discovery. Should I then turn around and offer a package that is this is great, this gives me a lot of insight, this is very helpful, here's our package, this is what we can do for you.
So typically I run all of my packages on a 2-call basis, or all my sales process on a 2-call basis. So the first thing I do is I just go do a straight value call, like 30 minutes to an hour, just straight delivering as much value as possible to show that A, I know what I'm talking about, and B, I can actually, give them value, because when you show them value before, they can expect that when you buy the package. And building rapport is very important. So I always do that value call. The second call, and on that first value call, I always identify pain points. That's very important. So, where are they struggling? Where can they improve? What can be more efficient? Then between the value call and the actual sales call, if it is a good fit, that's another way you can, if you do the value call, you can kind of filter out the people who aren't a good fit for you. If you have that, after you've identified the pain points, I want you to write down literally every pain point that they face. And if you have a niche, this is easy. You go in, like for us, we go through dive shops. We say, okay, here's every pain point that a dive shop faces. Here's how my solution can solve those pain points.
I got it. Yeah.
Then you can offer that when you can custom tailor your offer to them and say, okay, this is the pain points that we're solving. This is how we're going to help you to, say that they don't know how to write copy, right? They aren't good marketing. They don't like to put their face out there. They just want to be behind the brand. Okay, that's their pain point. How can you solve that pain point? By saying, okay, well, you can hire a voice actor who's going to actually, showcase your brand, showcase why you're special, be able to showcase you and your brand, and then be able to bring you sales from that pain point. So solve all the pain points first, write down the pain points, write down a solution to the pain points. And then when you present it, custom tailor your offer. So it doesn't have to be for everybody. It doesn't have to be, I'm going to book 100 meetings in 30 days, or you get your money back and I'll send you 1,000. Like, it doesn't have to be that, right? It can be custom tailored. So in my case, and some people don't need as much short form depending on their niche. Some people don't need as much long form depending on their niche for video. Like, I custom tailor all of my offers for that very reason, because you want to make sure that you're actually providing them value and actually giving them what they need. So, and doing that will make people say, okay, this person actually wants to see me win. They want to see me grow. They don't just want a bunch of money, right?
Right.
So,
yeah. Because
because I think that is definitely something that's, they look at it. People look at that. So
They absolutely do. And then your second call, what do you do in your second call? Is that when you present and
Yeah.
you
So my second call, a lot of people, I've A/B tested, running with a slide. And typically I don't do slides. I just kind of talk through it. I have
Hmm.
a basic layout of my calls, and I can send that over to you if you want it.
Yeah.
Basically, it's just a free resource. But like, I go into
Thank
my
you.
calls knowing exactly what's going to happen. So I structure all of my calls the same. We basically run through to start out, just some rapport building, figuring out more about them, just as far as, what are your pain points? You've already figured out some of those things, but being able to make them recite their pain points and say, okay, this is a struggle for me. Being able to have them say, hey, I'm not good at marketing. Then when you go into the sales later and you tell them the price, you can say, well, here's how I can, actually fix your pain point and make your dream outcome better. And so you basically want to build rapport for the first half of the call. And then the second half of the call is the actual presentation. So that's going to be where you say, okay, here's what I can offer you. You basically break down all their pain points. So bad at marketing. Okay, we'll help you with your marketing. Bad at copy. We have copywriters who do this for you. Don't know how to brand. Okay, we can position your brand and do messaging and all this stuff so that you can actually use it. Then you go in and you tell them, okay, this is the price. And then you just be silent. That's a big trick. That's
I know it is. I know. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of,
because the first person who speaks loses usually.
Yeah. Typically. So you basically, you basically just, you present it as a sales call, the second call, but you want it to seem like, again, that first half of that call is a pure value call. Again, you're trying to figure out what are their pain points? What do they actually need? And as the call goes, I'm taking notes the whole time and figuring out, okay, how can I actually tailor this offer so it's more valuable for them?
Okie dokie. Well, thank you. Even though it didn't look like I was trying to be cool taking notes, my hands was I have my notebook on my lap. Seriously.
I got your notebook.
All right.
I'm the purple Sharpie ready to go.
And so I need to start putting that together. I need to have conversations also with a few folks as well to figure out what this might look like because it may happen. I have to tell you, I guess good things drop in your lap, and unexpectedly, but I just wanted to be ready, and I feel a little.
Yeah, and
I don't
part
like
of it
not to be prepared. So.
Yeah, part of it's a mental thing. Like a lot of it, a big problem that a lot of entrepreneurs face, especially when they're first starting to get into video, I see it time and time again. The analysis paralysis, you got to make sure that you're not getting consumed by that. Like, don't overanalyze. Okay, and I did this too. I'm very guilty of this for like 2 years. I was like, okay, should I hire people who know how to edit first, or should I actually try to get clients first? And you debate those things and you say, well, which one should I do first? Which one should I do first? The easiest way is just dive into it, right? Whichever one, just pick one, go all in on it. Yeah. And that's how you're going to get the results, because if you never start, you're never going to actually make, results. What I always tell people is on YouTube, the top YouTubers, every one of them, every single YouTuber that has ever, posted on YouTube always had their first video, and their last video will probably be better than their first video. The only way you're ever going to improve is by continually creating content.
Right.
So it's the same way in your scenario. Like the only way you can improve is just to start.
Go back to episode 1 of this very show to see just what you mean.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited about it, but I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. I do. So I should say no more other than I just like being prepared, and that threw me off. It did.
Yeah.
It took me completely off. And not that I didn't have answers, and I did, but I didn't have any systems in place where I could turn it around and do something with it. So
now is your chance though. This is the catalyst to do it. So and when he emails you, you'll be able to, you already know, hey, send me the script you're thinking about, and then I'll get back to you, which buys you just a little bit of time. And then in the meantime, I think your homework is around, take a piece of paper, divide it in 3 columns. Right. Who's it for? What's this thing deliver? And what, and course, I'm here to help with that. But
Yep.
figuring out what those 3 columns are going to be is really
Yep.
the job. That's the
Here,
job right
here's
now.
my scribble of 3 columns. So
Oh,
yeah,
see, you're already on it.
well, sort of. I mean, just taking what I've received and just trying to put it in some order here, so that once we get off this call, I can really focus on that. So yeah, this is helpful.
And,
I'm
and real
excited.
quick,
Yes, please.
yeah, back to what you said about systems. The best way to develop a system is by just diving right into it, right? So I used to overanalyze my systems as far as, okay, we need to make sure that this person is creating X amount of content. The due dates are X, Y, Z, like before I did the videos. And then you jump into your actual service delivery for a client. You know, you get your first client, everything is completely different than whatever systems you have in place, right? So you're
Yeah.
gonna have to edit those systems as you go. So the easiest way to do systems is to just do it as you go, right? So after you get your first client, then you're going to start, producing content. It's going to be a lot of overload on you. Just going to be completely honest. Like, you're going to be overloaded. You're going to be stressed out. After you get that first client, you know what you're going to be doing. Then it's
You're
smooth
right.
sailing because
You're
you have the
absolutely
processes
right.
in place and you know exactly how it's going to work.
Yes.
So that's kind of
You're absolutely right. And and I know that to be true for, just other, life experiences,
I was going to say, Zach
Yeah.
doesn't know it yet, but that's called having a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to be as prepared as possible.
Yeah.
You get the room set up, you buy
Yeah.
the gear,
Yeah.
you cross your fingers, and the entire thing goes exactly not at all the way you thought it was going to be.
You're at the grocery store and the closest hospital is here. You know what I mean? And you end up there and then you try to see. Yeah. So totally. And I am, I'm just, so I'm not going to repeat what I just said, and I'm just moving forward. So this is great. This has been, I mean, it's just been great on so many levels that I can't, but in particular, it's the start really that I think that I needed, and not expecting for us to go through like all the seasons or the episodes in order for me to like really get started, and for someone to present to me in a very unusual way. There's more background that I was really hesitant. And if we weren't on camera, I could probably share more, but I really was hesitant. But it happened. So yeah.
This is just the universe telling you to make a case for your business and get started.
Yeah, you're right.
In my opinion,
Oh,
whether it goes somewhere or not, whether he's serious or he's not,
I know.
At least now you'll be like, all right, this is the next chunk I have to do in order to truly launch this business.
That's right.
And
it's an opportunity.
That's right. And I know you don't like to be prepared. I know you would have loved to have handed him a price sheet and been like, call me when you're ready. But it's just, entrepreneurship doesn't always work that way. You feel a need as it comes along. And
that's right.
It's baptism by fire, baby.
Yeah. And it's a change of mindset, really. It really is for me.
And learning by experience is going to be the best way, right? So, you get your first client, you mess up, you do a terrible job, something happens, you just suck. Okay, what's the worst case? You send the money back and you learn from it and you get experience from it. So you're still benefiting from that. So a lot of people look to have, the perfect service just to start out, and it's just not practical, right?
Right.
You want to make sure that you have a service rather than the perfect service to start. So
you're absolutely right. Yes. I don't know how many of those yeses you're going to edit out, but I operating in another space than this. That's
Zach's problem.
I know exactly, but it was also trial by fire related to travel, and I wanted to get every certification from various cruise lines and all that kind of stuff. And long story short, someone called and said, "Hey, you're doing this. I want to do this. I want to go here." And I'm like, but I'm not. And so a similar thing happened. So anyway, I do like to be prepared, and that has to.
Yeah.
And you know what? And this is preparation.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So
because not everybody is doing it. So
that's right.
you
That's
know,
right.
Yeah.
and for those of you following along at home, this is how you can be doing it too. Let us
Totally.
know in the comments how
Please in
your
the comments.
signature offer is going.
And how this felt to you, just seeing you know, someone like you, sort of operating in a space where an opportunity was, is given, but you're not
Mhm.
prepared for it, and how you would prepare. There's a lot of learning in that. So I thank you. So thanks so much, Zach.
Yeah.
Words of experience and of wisdom, and from Rebecca. Seriously, I've taken copious notes. Some of them
Copious notes.
I may not be able to read now because they're basically scribbled on my lap, but well, on a notebook that was on my lap. But
That would be a
um,
very cool name for a podcast for you, Copious Notes, because Notes
ooh,
works with music notes as well, and
it.
copious is a bounty that's harvested.
Oh my God! Please don't add that to the recording because I may want to buy that.
By the time this
Bagel,
comes
bagel,
out,
bagel.
you will have bought it.
I
By the-
will.
Bagel, bagel, bagel.
Bagel,
By
bagel.
the time this comes out, you will have already bought it.
Yeah, I will buy
Okay,
it.
Zach, for the folks following at home who wish they had this one-on-one time with you themselves, how
Mhm.
can people find you?
Yeah, you can go. There's a lot of places to find me, but if you search my name, it is right here. You can just search it right there. You put in my name, Dozer Dog Designs, anywhere like that. You can go find me. It's pretty simple to find me. I'm on every platform there it's ever been invented, except for Instagram Threads, because I don't know, I haven't explored that yet. But you can find me pretty much anywhere. Pretty much anywhere. If you want to book in a call, you can go to dozerdog.co and book in there. And yeah, happy to talk to anybody who wants to, hit me up.
And I would highly encourage folks to do that. And also, please connect with Zach on LinkedIn,
Mhm.
as he has a brand new LinkedIn copy all over the place.
Oh, that is awesome.
And I want everyone to go and see it because it is a
Yeah.
unique presentation of how to do LinkedIn. You think Octophilia has a good LinkedIn page? This is the test. So go connect with Zach on LinkedIn. Janine, thanks for
Awesome.
showing up today and being
Oh.
such an awesome part of this continued conversation here on Business in the Raw, only on 100 TV.
Only on 100 TV. This has been an awesome experience. Zach, thank you. I cannot thank you enough. It's been a true opportunity, another opportunity. I've taken it all in, and I'll get to work on that. I have to.
Of course.
Yeah, I want to. How about that?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm thrilled to have Zach weave his way into another episode where we get super meta, that the creative director is in front
The
of the
timing
camera
was perfect.
and participating
Perfect.
in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. And so I encourage you, Janine, and anybody else who's not watching us live, to go see me and Zach go live in 40 minutes on the Stone Fruit
wow.
Roll Up.
Okay.
Zach's gonna give me an epic teardown of our YouTube page so that we can rebuild. So we'll see you
That
over
might be
there.
helpful. I may have to watch it at another
Join us in the
time, but
comments, Janine, or in the
I know.
replay.
I will definitely do that in the
Good news.
replay.
You can always watch it on demand at Stone Fruit on YouTube.
Well, very well said. But I'm bound.
Very good.
That's
Anything
great.
else, Zach, Janine?
Oh my God, I'm overflowing. So
100
thank you.
TV family.
I'm full.
Okay,
Nope.
good.
This is it.
I'll-
Thank you so much.
This is it.
Make no mistake, who you are, where you are.
Finally,
You're
Zach
going
gets to hear your
somewhere.
ringside songster sing.
Oh my God, I am in love with Kenny Loggins. Anyway.
You can hear more on copiousnotes.com.
Oh my God. What am I going to do with all this? Anyway, it has a place.